Hey everybody, Justin here, and I'm very excited because today, on Thursday, June 30th, Fantasy Flight released the official announcement article for the Scarlet Keys expansion and campaign, and I haven't read any of it. I haven't read it. I was like, I'm gonna make my plan was when this article came out, I was going to do an announcement video for it, and I was gonna read the article here. And you're going to see my initial reactions to these as I look at all these cards here. I will say that this is happening in this method, and Bryn and Travis aren't here because I'm in the process of moving. And it's just not good for our schedules. On these Thursdays, things are crazy. So the plan is, for those who love the videos with me, Travis and Bryn, this video is just me, but next Sunday, I'm going to be making a video with Travis, Bryn, and myself, where we're going to be discussing all of the cards that have been spoiled and previewed so far at the time of that video's recording. But let's jump in, let's read this article, and let's see what the Scarlet Keys has in store for us. Strange disappearances haunt the city of Arkham, Massachusetts. With each object, building, or person that vanishes, they are erased not just from physical existence, but from history and memory as well. Only a select few investigators remember those that vanished, or so they believe. Before long, the mystery unravels into an international conspiracy, and our wary investigators find themselves recruited by a shadowy government agency whose sole purpose is the collection and research of paradimensional implements they call keys. The Scarlet Keys. However, they aren't the only ones searching for them. Fantasy Flight is thrilled to announce the Scarlet Keys, a pair of brand new expansions for Arkham Horror the card game. We did it! We made it, Fantasy Flight! Let's go! Alright. This pair of separate but related expansions take the game around the world, and we mean that literally. 6 new investigators from the Scarlet Keys Investigator expansion embark on a globe-trotting adventure in the Scarlet Keys campaign expansion. Just like with Edge of the Earth, you'll find only player cards the Investigator and only scenarios. Whether you want one expansion or both, the world of Arkham Horror just got bigger. We know all this. Some nice art here that we have on this card. So yeah, this, as I said, this is like a news video, a reaction video, and also I'm just excited to see some of the cards. All right, we have our first investigator, Carson Sinclair. He is a Guardian, and he has 2s across the board. Are we going to see some Amanda Sharp stuff here? Taking these off, the Scarlet Keys Investigator expansion brings a massive spread of new player cards to the game, including 6, that's right, 6 new investigators. Alright, Carson Sinclair. You may take an additional action during your turn, which can only be used on the below action ability. Action. Choose another investigator at your location. They immediately take an action as if it were their turn. Limit once per round for each investigator. Elder Sign effect, +0, draw 1. You may resolve this effect anytime another investigator in your location resolves their Elder Sign effect? Holy cow, that's so cool. So, this is actually kind of funny because Travis and I just yesterday were talking about how there isn't like a full support investigator that's released so far. And this is like actually a full support investigator for multiplayer, which is really cool. It's kind of, it's neat because we're talking about guidance in particular, but this seems like a pretty fun ability for a support mode. Obviously with his deck building, I don't know if it's spoiled in the article, but that's going to have a huge impact on exactly what they can do. But I imagine he's going to be able to play guidance, right? Like you don't have this card, this here, one second. I'll get guidance on the screen for those who don't know what I'm talking about. So guidance. Guidance is choose another investigator at your location who has yet to take his or her turn this round. That investigator may take an additional action during their turn this round. It's like the same but different, right? Like, so this one is they immediately take an action as if it was their turn. That's really cool though. That's really neat. I think that this has the potential to be a very fun investigator to play in like 3 or 4 players. We'll have to see what else he does, so why don't we keep going. First off is Carson Sinclair. As a skilled butler of the Webb family, Carson comes to Arkham as a Guardian investigator specializing in support. Let's go. All of his abilities are geared toward helping other investigators, from his innate ability to give other investigators additional skill to his signature asset, As You Wish, which gives other investigators a boost during a skill test. Okay. Carson Sinclair only. So it's a skill. Commits for 3 wilds. Practice an expert Carson Sinclair deck only. Commit only to a skill test being performed by another investigator. If this test succeeds, the performing investigator draws 1 card, and if it fails, you draw a card. Okay. Seems kind of strange. There might be a way to recur it, right? That like, but it just seems like kind of, I don't know. I mean, it's very strong. It makes you pass the test, right? So like, I can't knock it that much. It's just like you pass. They pass a test and they draw a card. Which gives other investigator. With such a focus on others, you could also say that Carson is selfless to a fault. Great art. Into your threat area at the end of your turn. If you did not commit at least one card to a skill test performed by another investigator this turn, take one horror and shuffle selfless to a fault into your deck. Okay. All right. So I'll get to these cards in a sec. So that said, Carson can do more than just support. As a guardian, he can include cards like Hunter's Armor and Runic Axe in his deck. So they're here, but let's just pull up the screen here. This is actually a smaller, customizable. What the frick? So it doesn't have a level. I need to keep reading. All right. These cards have the new customizable keyword. We're going to get there, okay? Does this one, so let me look at Runic Axe as well. All right. Allowing you to spend experience to grant them increased stats, reduced costs, or entirely new abilities. For example, the Hunter's Armor can be enchanted. Interesting. The Hunter's Armor can be enchanted, so it takes up an arcane slot instead of a body slot, while the Runic Axe can give additional properties depending on what inscriptions are engraved on its haft. With the axe in hand, Carson can inflict a grievous wound on an enemy, dealing steady damage to it over time when the need arises. Carson can continue his supportive theme with Helping Hand, ensuring that another investigator passes the skill test in a crucial moment. Okay, so let's look at this. So Hunter's Armor is just a 4-cost 2/2. It's customizable. Takes up a body slot. We look at this stuff. So this reminds me a lot of Gloomhaven. It seems like this is like really easy, that like you're going to have your official copy, but you're probably just going to like print or even just like write down on a piece of paper, or like just have like multiple copies of this. Like or you can also just buy cheap sleeves and like mark on the cheap sleeves. I think this is something that, if I'm going to wager right now, I think Bryn is going to like this mechanic and Travis is not going to like this mechanic. That's just like my thought, but I could be surprised. I don't know how I feel yet. Let's look at some of these things you can do. So Enchanted gains the relic trait and takes up arcane slot instead of a body slot. You can do 2 customizes for this one. Protective Runes. Hunter's Armor may be assigned damage and or horror dealt to another investigator at your location. So sorry, I'm wrong. It's not you can do it twice. It takes 2 to do. So I wonder if that's like the experience cost, right? So maybe instead of you don't buy these, you can buy them for like 0, but maybe you also can spend experience on them. So I could spend 3 to get Enchanted and Protective Runes. This is me just hypothesizing. I actually don't know. Durable gets +2 health. Hallowed gets +2 sanity. Lightweight gets -1 cost and playing it does not provoke attacks of opportunity. Hex Drinker. After 1 or more damage or horror is assigned to Hunter's Armor from a treachery effect, you may exhaust it to draw 1 card. That's cool. That's cool. Armor of Thorns. After 1 or more damage or horror is assigned to Hunter's Armor from an enemy attack, you may exhaust it to deal 1 damage to an enemy. Spicy. So these are all really cool. Yeah, let's see Runic Axe. So Runic Axe's base is customizable, uses 4 charges, takes up both hand slots. Yeah. Replenish 1 of these charges at the start of each round. Okay, that's really cool. That's some neat design space. Fight. You get +1 fist from this attack. Before this attack, you may spend any number of charges to imbue the axe with that many different inscriptions. Accuracy. You get an additional +2 for this attack. Power. This attack deals +1 damage. That's neat. All right, let's see its upgrades. Oh my god, there's a lot. So this is a very complicated mechanic, but it doesn't need to be. It's basically as complicated as you want it to be, right? Like, that is kind of neat. I think this design space is really cool. I have to see it in practice before I really get like married to the idea, but I think the idea of it is really cool, and I think as a whole, it's gonna be a fun mechanic for the players, which ultimately is the goal of card design, right? The game has to be fun for the players, and I think that this is a fun mechanic for the majority of the players in the game. Heirloom. This asset gets -1 costing against the relic trait. Cool. Inscription of Glory. Add this inscription. Glory. If this attack defeats an enemy, choose 1, draw 1 card, heal 1 damage, or heal 1 horror. That's cool. Inscription of the Elders. Add this inscription. Elders. If this attack succeeds by an amount equal to or greater than your location's shroud, discover one clue at your location. That's really cool. Inscription of the Hunt. Add this inscription. Hunt. Immediately move to a connecting location or engage an enemy at your location. So, before this fight, you may do the thing. Okay, okay. These cards are going to be a nightmare, too, for us to talk about. And, like, also, I'm going to just say right now, my thoughts and prayers are with the people who design Arkham DB. My thoughts and prayers are with the people who do Arkham DB. Oh my god. Anyways, Inscription of Fury. Add this inscription. Fury. If this attack is successful, in addition to its standard damage, deal 1 damage to each other enemy engaged with you. That's cool. Ancient Power. You may imbue the same inscription up to 3 times. That's kind of more poggy than it is. It might, like, I don't even know. I can't, like, as I said, I can't, like, grade these cards. Saga. Replenish 2 of the runic axis charge at the start of each round instead of 1. Script Weaver. For every charge spent, you may imbue the axe with up to 2 different inscriptions. Okay. Alright. So, let's look at Grievous Wound. That's cool art. That's great art. One cost event commits for 2 fist. Tactic. Grievous Wound. Fast. Player after you successfully attack a non-elite enemy using a melee asset. Attach Grievous Wound to the attacking enemy. At the end of the round, deal 1 damage to the attached enemy. That is really cool design. This you cause the guy to bleed out. Non-elite, but like this is really good. This is like really good for like a kind of like a set it and forget it kind of build, right? Like you can evade an enemy, and then you can like hit the enemy, and then you can walk out of there, and then the enemy will just die on its own before it catches up to you. It's kind of neat. And then we got Helping Hand. Don't like that art. That art's scary. This art. All right, you may commit Helping Hand to any one type of test, max 1 committed per test. While Helping Hand is committed to a skill test, double the skill icons of each other card committed to that test. Neat card, I don't know. I mean, like, once again, like, it's this one not to see in practice. But Carson seems really cool. All right, let's look at Mina Zidane. Cool, 3s across the board. When you play an asset, reduce its... So these are 2 really weird investigators, which is kind of fun. So, 3s across the board, chosen and cursed. 5/9. By the way, Carson had 6 and 6 if people can't read. If people are just listening to this. She's the operator. When you play an asset, reduce its resource cost by 3 and enters play with 1 Doom on it. Limit once per round. +2 is her Elder Sign. You may move all Doom from a card you control, from a card at your location to another card at your location. Interesting. Another Doom-based investigator. Let's go. Okay. Joining Carson in the struggle against the mythos is Mina Zidane. While working as an operator for the Miskatonic Valley Telephone Company, Mina caught snippets of strange eldritch words and other oddities between phone calls. This is actually the exact flavor that someone online said would be for the character, which I think is like a really cool concept for a character. That's really neat. It's very weird horror. As she sought answers, she eventually found the right extension, connected the line, and listened in. While she didn't understand the word of the alien language on the other side, she could tell the words held real power. A brand new character of the Arkham Horror Files universe, Mina arrives as a mystic investigator whose playstyle revolves around Doom. Her innate ability allows her to reduce an asset's resource cost in exchange for placing Doom on it when it enters play. This synergizes well with one of her signature events, Word of Wheel. It also works really well with Abyssal Tome. Which can give her a significant power-up. Cool art. Mina Zidane deck only fast. Play when you perform a skill test on an asset with 1 or more Doom on it. Add your brain to your skill value for this test. Then if Word of Woe is in your discard pile, you may shuffle it into your deck. Her other signature event, Word of Woe. Same art. Oh, look, it's something behind her. 2-cost event. It's a pact. Pass. Play only during your turn. Place 1 Doom on an asset you control to resolve an action ability on it, ignoring all cost, including this action cost. Then if Word of Wheels in your discard pile, you may shuffle it into your deck. Interesting. Interesting. Ignoring all costs. Exchange for a bit more Doom. Interesting. If you feel like you're dooming your assets too much, then Amina's Elder Sign ability can transfer that Doom to an enemy you're about to defeat. Just be wary of the encountering deafening silence before you have a chance to do so. Move 1 Doom from an asset you control with current agenda. This may cause it to advance. If no Doom is moved this way, shuffle it into your deck. So this character seems really interesting, and I don't know how. Her playstyle is way above my pay grade. right now. I need to see a bit more, but it's a very interesting character design. So that's neat. Hey, it's Charlie Kane. We know him. All right. As Mystic and Mina can pack some potent magical punch with cards like Summon Servitor. It's another customizable. And then we have calls an Eldritch Servant that can move on its own, and upgrading it can grant the ability to take damage for other investigators, attack enemies, or more. Meanwhile, Power Word can curse an enemy to force it to obey your commands, and you can upgrade it to expand the list of commands. Mina's balanced stat spread include innate abilities can let her get lots of cards from Ceremonial Sickle and Dowsing Rods. We have a bunch of cards we're going to be looking at right here. I'm so excited. Which have their own methods of adding or removing doom from themselves. Clearly, this operator is not to be trifled with. Amen! Announcement article. All right. So right away on Summon Servitor, I really love this line here. It's really huge. As let me get the big one up so there's less on the screen. It is smaller though, so let's just look at this one. As additional cost to play Summon Servitor, you must discard another asset you control. That's really good with Mina. That's really good with Mina. Like that's like a good piece of her puzzle. Takes up an ally slot and a spell slot. 2 cost, commits for a brain. Summon Servitor enters play at your location. It can take 1 action during each of your turns. What the frick is this? Which can only be used to take the following action. Oh. But the upgrades are going to get better, of course. Move Summon Servitor to a connecting revealed location. What the frick? They're really going all out. All right. Let's look at its upgrades. This is a lot of text. This is a lot of text. But remember, you are doing these upgrades. I imagine these upgrades are when you buy the card. This is my in theory remember. This is even a remember to myself. But you're not gonna have to you might be able to upgrade more. You might be able to just continue upgrading it, right? I don't know exactly how this is gonna work, but it's not like it's gonna be doing all of these things unless maybe you can. I don't know. Maybe I missed it, but I don't think I did. All right, Armored Carapace. Summon Servitor gains a health value of 3, can be assigned damage to dealt to investigator at its location. Claws that catch, add this action. Fight. You fight an enemy or location with a base of 4. Ignore the aloof and retaliate keywords for this attack. Jaws that snatch, add this action. Evade. You attempt to evade any enemy at this location. Ignore the alert and evasion with a 4. Investigate with 4. After it moves from your location to a next location, you may move to that location of night as well. Wings of Night. This is really cool. This is really cool. Dominance. Summon Servitor no longer takes up a circle 1 arcane or ally. This is so freaking neat, man. These are some cool you can just build your little eldritch monstrosity to play with. Dreaming Call. Instead of discarding another asset you control in order to play it, you may return that asset to its owner's hand. That seems pretty cool. Summon Servitor can take 2 different actions instead of 1 during each of your turns. Awesome. Cool card. Phone, get out of here. It's not time for you to be vibrating right now. Okay, Power Word. Customizable fast. Play only during your turn. Attached to a non-elite enemy at your location. As an action, if attached enemy is at your location, parlay, give it a command. Limit once per round per command. Go. This enemy moves once in a direction of your choice. Cower. This enemy exhausts. That's some elite power fantasy right there. I'm just gonna say it. All right, let's upgrade it. So in a second. Attach to non-elite. If it's at your location, parlay. Give it a command. Oh my god. You basically just make it your B word. Power Word. Betray. Add this command. Betray. Deal 1 damage to any enemy at this enemy's location with an equal or lower fight value than this enemy. This is so sick. Limit once per round per command. I don't think this card might not be crazy good, but it is crazy cool. But it could be crazy good. I don't know. There's a million ways it can go. All right, Mercy. An investigator at this enemy's location heals damage or horror equal to this enemy's respective damage or horror value. Holy crap. Confess. This of note, though, this enemy still fights, right? It can still fight you. You have to actually, you can't just have it hang out with you. Confess. Discover 1 clue at this enemy's location if its health is equal to or higher than its location's shroud. Distract. Automatically evade any enemy at this locations with equal or lower than the evade value than this enemy. Greater control. It gains as a lightning bolt. Return it to your hand. That seems really good if you want to be doing this as a deck. This is so neat. Like, this is such an exciting time. They like, already the designs on these are really cool. I think I'm now kind of on board for the hype train for these upgrade cards. I think that while there is a lot of text and to it, it's just like a really, basically you can interact with it as much as you want, which is like the perfect level for these. We have Bonded. You may activate the parlay abilities on Power Word from up to one location away from the attached enemy. That's really good. Tongue Twister, when you parlay with Power Word, you may give up to 2 different commands. That's also really good. Thrice Spoken, you may include 3 copies of Power Word in your deck. When you give a command using 1 copy, also give that, okay. Also give it to each other enemy with one of them attached. Wow. Okay. Seems kind of really sick. Seems kind of sick. All right, now let's get some nice, boring level 0 cards. That's all we need. Ceremonial Sickle. Fight. Either use your brain or get +1 fist for this attack. When you initiate the ability, choose one. This is a 3-cost asset, item, charm, weapon. It takes up a hand slot, by the way. Exhaust it and place 1 Doom on it to get +1 skill value and deal +1 damage for this attack. If this attack defeats an enemy, remove 1 Doom from Ceremonial Sickle. That's nice design. I think that's a nice card. Kind of reminds me of Blessed Blade in a way, which I was actually using when we were recording yesterday, and Blessed Blade is actually kind of alright. I know, crazy, huh? Kind of crazy. Alright, now we have Dowsing Rod. 4-cost, item, charm, asset, takes up a hand slot. As an action, invest. Yeah, it's the same thing. Oh, I wonder if we're getting these instead of spells then, maybe. Either use your, and then place 1 Doom on it. Okay. Same thing, same text. Discover the last clue. So, what also these do, both Ceremonial Sickle and Dowsing Rod, is you can choose the bottom action. You don't need to do the +1 damage. So say for example you have 2 actions. You can use an enemy has 3 health. You can use the first one to put a Doom on it, and then you can use the second one to remove the Doom on it. Likewise, say the enemy had 4 health. You can, for the first action, you can do +1 damage, +1 skill value. Second 2, you can just do the remove a Doom from it if you defeat it. And that also works really well with this too. This is a nice kind of, Sixth Sense, and a good kind of like not a good Wither, but like a better Wither, right? Like, I don't know if this one's good or not, but it seems good. Then we got Charlie Kane. We know him, but I'll read it anyway. Oh, a new card for Charlie? It's Charlie Kane in the art. Let's go. Okay, I'm so excited. Like, this is what I've been waiting for, and I hope you're excited too. As we mentioned earlier, the Investigator expansion comes with 6 Investigators instead of the usual 5. Among them is those 6 is the game's second ever neutral Investigator, Charlie Kane, the Vampire Hunter. This politician's playstyle is all about allies, while his own skill levels are low. Charlie can use skill icons on his ally assets to help him pass a test, and he can have up to 4 allies and play at a time with the indispensable allies like Bonnie Walsh, and at his motivational speech, or 2 to get more allies into play. This one politician that is sure to get things done. That said, Charlie will have to take his job seriously because the burden of leadership will always loom over his shoulders. So, if you don't know who Charlie is, he's 1s across the board. You have 3 additional ally slots. As a lightning bolt during a skill test you're performing, you exhaust an ally asset you control. For this test, you get +1 skill value, plus an additional +1 skill icon, +1 for each skill icon that the ally has that matches this test type. Elder Sign is +3, ready an ally asset at your location. His deck building, if I remember correctly, is allies 0 to 5. I could be wrong on this, I'm going from memories. And then 2 classes, 0 to 2 or 0 to 3, I think. I think it's 0 to 2. I could be wrong, though. All right, Bonnie Walsh. 3 cost, double wilds. Ally, 2/2 for her soak. After you exhaust Bonnie Walsh, ready another ally asset at your location. She's very strong. I think that she's going to be really good when Charlie gets her out. Then we got Motivational Speech, Parlay, 0 cost event, it's a spirit. Choose an investigator location. That investigator may play an ally asset from their hand, reducing its cost by 3. Hey, it's Uncage the Soul, but for allies. That's a nice card for an ally-heavy deck. I imagine that this is something that Leo is going to want to play. I could even see Carson playing this potentially as a big support build. Potentially he could. But I think that obviously Charlie's going to want this, and Leo could definitely want this too. All right. And then we got the Burden of Leadership. If you control no ally assets, shuffle it back into your deck. Otherwise, for each ally asset you control, either exhaust it or deal it 1 direct damage and 1 direct horror. Okay. We still got a bunch of stuff coming up, so let's keep reading. Whether or not you decide to pick up the Investigator expansion, you can still look forward to a thrilling new adventure in the Scarlet Keys campaign expansion. The tale of the Scarlet Keys begins in Arkham with a spread of mysterious disappearances. As objects, animals, and people vanish, so too do they disappear from the memory of those left behind. Only you and your fellow investigators remember them, or so you thought. When an enigmatic letter arrives, its author claiming to also remember those who disappeared, it marks the beginning of an epic journey that will take you across the globe under the scrutinous eye of the mysterious and deadly red coterie. Spooky. When we say across the globe, we mean that literally. The Scarlet Keys campaign expansion introduces the game's very first completely non-linear campaign. This is what people thought was going to be happening as well. After the prologue concludes, you and your party choose where to go next, and wherever you go determines what scenario you play. This means that with the exception of the prologue and the finale, which always occur first and last respectively, this is also a theory that people thought was true. All of the scenarios in this campaign can be experienced in any order. However, you may not experience all of them in a single playthrough, since one of the greatest threats of this in this campaign isn't the mythos, it's time. After all, it takes a while to travel all around the world, and there are mysterious organizations at work in the shadows every step of the way. The longer you take to unravel the mystery of the disappearances and the titular Scarlet Keys, the more time those organizations have to advance their shadowy agendas. When you reach the finale, either through time running out or through your own efforts, your choices, actions, and places you visited throughout the whole campaign will come to a head in a truly epic conclusion. As to what sort of things you'll be doing in your globetrotting adventure, we'll go over that in a live stream close to the expansion's release, so stay tuned. The Secret War. There's never been a campaign for Arkham Horror, the card game of this scale and this scope, and only you and your fellow investigators can travel the globe and unravel the mysteries of the Scarlet Keys before it is too late. Set off in this grand adventure when the Scarlet Keys Investigator expansion and the Scarlet Keys campaign expansion both release this fall. We can pre-order our stuff today. Whoa! We have more though. We have more. We ain't done. We ain't finished yet. Okay. So, that's a good zoom in. All right. All right. Okay. So, we have another investigator. We have a basic weakness. And we have two cards that we can't read the full thing on. We have Thieves' Kit and Orphic Theory. And then we have printed text box. That's going to be blank for sure. And then we got Lurker in the Dark. Okay, but we're only here really to look at Kaimani Jones, the security consultant. All right. So they have a 3/2/2/5. They're a criminal. They soak for 8 and 6. As a lightning bolt, they can engage an exhausted enemy. Why would they want to do that? Well, let's probably keep reading the card and it'll tell us why. Reaction. When you attempt to evade an exhausted non-elite enemy, add your book to your skill value for this attempt. If you succeed by at least X, where X is the enemy's remaining health, discard it. That's cool. Elder Sign effect +1. If there's an exhausted enemy location, you automatically succeed instead. Okay. Okay. That's cool. All right. Well, that's exciting. That's exciting. I hope you guys enjoyed me reading this blind, because I enjoyed the hell out of it. I'm very excited to see what this campaign and this investigator expansion has in store for us, because it's gonna be a good time. I think it's gonna be a good time. There's a lot of excitement here. Let me know in the comments what you think of these cards and what you're excited for. Please, I would love to know. As well as I said, next Sunday, Travis, Bryn, and I, we're going to be doing a video where we're going to be talking about these cards as a group in kind of like the open discussion format we usually do. So my apologies that they could not be in this video, but timing, they have lives, I'm moving, it's crazy. But I wanted to get this video done because I wanted to actually read this article, and I'm glad I did. Huge thank you to everyone who's watching, as well as all of our patrons for supporting the channel. If you want to support our Arkham Horror videos, consider joining our Patreon down below, or just by liking, subscribing, commenting. It all helps the channel out. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good one. And as always, GG's.